Look at that. That is perfectly cooked pork steak. Oh, creamy mushroom mustard sauce. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we are going to take a huge piece of pork collar and we're going to turn it into the perfect pork steaks. Now the decision is, do we put that into 3 or do we put it into 2? Put it into 3, I reckon. Somewhere like that. Right, so we're just going to cut this into steaks already. Now this is going to make it easier for when we sous vide. Now you could sous vide this whole thing and then cut it into steaks after. Now they are monster steaks. Look at the size of those things. The good thing about using pork collar has this fat that runs all the way through it. So when it cooks sous vide, it's going to stay tender, and then when we fry it, it's going to have like that fat running through it, which will render off, which will make the steaks really soft, tender, moist. It'll be a fantastic flavour when it's seasoned. So there's our 3 steaks. All we need to do now is get those in Ziploc bags. So this is pretty straightforward actually. I'm using Ziploc bags. If you had a vacuum sealer, you could vacuum seal your pork in there. Now I don't have a vacuum sealer here at the moment, so these are going in Ziploc bags. Now you can flavour them any which way you want. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in there, in each bag, only a tiny bit. And then we're just going to salt and pepper, that's it. Some freshly ground black pepper. Now of course you could have done this in the tray before putting them in, but you know, all this is in there and not half of on the tray. Give it a little massage there. And then all we need to do is try and take some of that air out of there. We're going to put these in the sous vide bath and we are going to cook it for about 2 3/4 hours at 60 degrees. Okay, so we got that up to 60 degrees. And all we're going to do is drop our pork in there. We'll just seal this side up and then we'll bob this one in at this side. Okay, so we're set to 60 degrees for 2 hours and 45 minutes and then this pork should be perfectly cooked. That's it. Okay, job done. Let's get that pork steaks out of there. That's our pork steak in there. We want that out of there and we want to actually pat it dry. Oh, look at that. So straightforward bit of kitchen towel over the top of there. We need to pat that dry so it sears in the pan. Now it won't sear if it's wet, so make sure you give it a little bit of a drying. And that is our pork steak. Look at that monster. Okay, so we need to get this seared up. So we've got a nice little bit of a flame on, a little bit of oil in there. Now our meat is carrying quite a lot of seasoning on there already. So all we need to do is get that in that pan and start searing it. We want a crust on there. So just turn it over in the pan, and we want a little bit of a sear all the way around there. Okay, we want to get that on that big side. Now that's looking like a nice crust on there. Just keep working it round. You know, we want a crust everywhere, a bit of colour everywhere. Okay, we need to take that out of there and we need to let it rest. We need to cover it over and let it rest whilst we make our mushroom mustard sauce. Okay, then for our sauce we want a little bit of butter in our pan. And then we want to be going in there with our onions. Little whiz round. Bit of salt. Bit of pepper. In there with our garlic. In there with our mushrooms. Just start to soften the mushrooms down in there in that butter mixture with the onions and garlic. All that flavour is going to come together. The salt that's in there is going to draw some of that moisture out. In the pan with a couple of tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour. Just cook that in there. We want that rawness to come out of that flour in there. So it's using that residual butter that we've got in there. And then we've got to be going in with a little bit of stock. Bring that together. In with about a tablespoon of whole grain mustard. A little shake of pepper. And a little bit of cream. That looks and smells absolutely amazing. And then in there with some freshly chopped parsley. And that is a superb mustard mushroom cream sauce. So that's our creamy mushroom mustard sauce made. Off the heat, and then all we need to do is serve it all up. Look at that. That is perfectly cooked pork steak. That is absolutely superb. creamy mushroom mustard sauce. And that pork steak. Oh, soft, tender. Mashed potatoes. Oh. That is so simple. Just look how soft and tender that pork is. That is amazing. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.